Hey, welcome back to Stuff I Kind of Care About. I'm Danny, and I just got back in town from Columbia. I spent the day with my buddy Brad, blacksmithing, and oh my gosh, it was amazing. I had so much fun. We got into a bunch of shenanigans, did a bunch of stuff, and I will be uploading videos for that probably a week from this upload. He's finishing up the project we were working on, and we want to upload those videos together. So he sent me back with this. It's a knife that he made for a friend of his, and his friend wants a sheath for it. So I'm going to make a sheath for this. I made a sheath for this little knife. I had a really crappy pleather sheath for it. So I just ripped the seams, ripped the rivets, and used this as a template. But now that I'm making a brand new one and I don't have a template, I kind of have to use this as an idea. So what I've done is if you pull the blade out and you line it up, and you basically get it halfway there, you want to measure the distance to the edge, preferably with some sort of compass. This is going to make life a little bit easier. And I'm right there. So it should be right about 3/8 of an inch. So we're going to double check that. It is just over. It's actually 7/16. Sorry for the amount of dead space there. Now I'm going to put this away. This loop I actually put back here of my own free will. The one that I make for him will have the loop up top. So we're going to do things a little bit differently. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use this to trace out this knife. So it's really fun getting this corner right. So we're kind of close there. And I'm just going to go ahead and come down here and do this. And bloop. So we kind of have a rough profile of the sheath. Alright, so the other thing that I know is I know that this is coming up here. And so I'm going to trace out actually what is the whole handle of the knife. We're going to come here. We're going to catch this here. And we're basically just going to run this in here. So, and I'm not worried about this being perfect. I know that this compass that I'm using isn't going to go any further in on the line. So, knife, rough pattern. I am purposely making it this way as well, just be aware of that, because when you pull this out, you want it to be right-handed. So we're going to set that to the side, and we're going to start using this really quickly. It doesn't have to be the most perfect job in the world. So what I know is that this right here is my break. So let me make sure I've got this proper. Yes, good. Alright, so my break is right here. I want all of that to go into the sheath. So I'm going to end up doing 4 rivets on this. And they're just going to go on the corners. And if you look, this isn't going to catch those rivets because there's actually going to be thread in there as well, so this won't be able to touch the rivets, which is important. You don't want your knife edge to be able to touch metal while it's in the sheath. So this is going to be, I picked up my X-Acto knife instead of my pen. So this is going to be the edge. Now, what I need to do is I need to create a sort of belt loop. Thankfully, I've got this thing sitting here. So I actually can match this very nicely. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and what I'm going to do is hold this here. I keep picking up the wrong tools. So I'm just going to come out here and get this to separate, because I'm going to tape this onto the end to use as a template for this whole thing. So we'll come back to that scrap in a minute. We're going to go ahead and do this. So, and sorry that I'm like sniffly and stuffy. I have been outside all day in the lovely weather, forging, and just all in all having a fantastic time. So we're also going to take this one out there. So now I'm going to take this piece here and I'm just going to tape it on. And this doesn't have to be the most perfect thing in the world. I'm about to kind of cut this stuff up a little bit. I just want it to be decent. So if I know I'm ending there, now what I can do is I can actually just trace out with a pen this part. Oh, come on. Stay in place, you hooligan. Alright, so we're going to do this, and that is how I'm making the template for this part. Now, once I've got this cut out, I'm essentially going to have to make a second one of these for the top of it. Because if you look at this one is, the back here is that long piece, and that comes back into here. So this part here is actually going to fold over and into here. And then I have one piece for the front. So I'm going to need two of these. So I'm going to finish cutting this out. I'm going to transfer it over to leather. I'm going to cut out the leather. I may be using this stuff right here. I don't know yet. I'm going to look around my scrap, see what I've got, see what's going to work the best. And I'm going to bring you guys back in a minute and show you where I'm at. We're back. So I've cut out the sheath, and the way that it's going to be is like this-ish. That's not a like perfect representation, but that's the general idea of it. I used this beautiful edging tool to create this groove in the leather, and that's where I'm going to be using this 6-prong punch, and I'm just going to be coming in like this. And I didn't go quite through. And I'm just going to work all the way down like this. What's up, party people? So, that's it. I'm decently happy with it. It actually turned out looking pretty awesome. I went ahead and used some artificial sinew to sew these seams. I didn't fully do the seams. I left gaps where the rivets are, and then just did simple little, like the post snap rivets, because I didn't want to use an actual rivet gun. But I'm pretty happy with it, and I hope that everybody else will be as well. It's solid, it's sturdy, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So, that's the conclusion. I'm going to go ahead and pop a link to Brad's YouTube channel in the description for this video. If you want to jump over there and hit subscribe on that. He doesn't really have content up, so we're just going to start rolling forward with blacksmithing videos for him on a regular update schedule. I think semi-regular for him. I don't know what he's doing. But if you want to go ahead and check his channel out and hit that subscribe button so you get a notification when his part of our partnership pops up, that'd be super rad. Show him some love. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I'm going to be doing stuff with that team up video with him hopefully in about a week. That'll be coming out. And in the meantime, stay groovy. I'm going to go be a nerd. Later.